my hello or goodbye, that's all it's supposed to do. Really? Wow.
5-year-old the other day.
Really?
He was in the back seat when we go to school. And he's got me like, oh, Dad, my credit card's on. I'm like,
That's kind of scary. Oh.
I called him and canceled it. And I just told him, you got the phone, so we could put it on. Yeah.
Yeah, that's.
He didn't know what he was doing.
Yeah.
He didn't push the button until he got what he wanted.
Yeah, yeah, well, that's the way you can do it. Yeah, I'm so far behind with all that computer stuff. I just can't do it.
I'm ahead of mine. I'm really ahead because I don't have it.
If I have any problems, grab for the grandkids.
Well, that's what we do.
She's having the people sign the protest letter as they come in the door.
Okay.
That's okay.
Well, yeah.
Doesn't mean any good. We're not here to talk about it.
Well, I thought we were gonna give a 5-minute, to everyone who wants to make a comment.
Yeah, then we shut it down and it stays on the table then, right?
Right, exactly.
Okay, so,
The comment period will end and then we'll have to.
so we can hash it out up here.
Okay, remember, I got you, we'll take care of it. Okay, thank you.
Yeah. My sandwich perhaps? They look pretty good, don't they? Yeah, especially when you,
It was dark.
especially when you're washing your hair and you got soap in your eyes. When you go to wash it out, you're not blind, not blind.
I don't. And I guess it's tomorrow night again.
Is that what it is? My mom said like, my mom lives with me.
So,
She's today's radio. Yesterday's radio.
Oh, yeah.
oh, you know, I thought there was like a convention over there.
Yeah.
Yeah, we were kind of jealous. Yeah, low profile.
Played. Yeah, so you are once or twice.
Hey, what are those fancy things that you got, those light things on the?
That's my team meal.
Did you get a protest
They're
letter?
just, they're kind of cool. I don't know what they're.
How many gallons is it?
All right, it's 5 o'clock.
Okay.
Let's get
All right.
started.
Okay.
Okay, so I'm gonna take the, oh, do you
Oh,
need the
yeah, let me
gavel?
do.
I'm
yeah,
sorry.
Okay. Yeah, it's 5 o'clock on,
So if you sign this,
Tuesday, April 30th.
April
And-
30th?
no, just put your address, yeah.
Am I looking at the?
Okay, and then
Yeah,
just give
April
it to
30th,
Colleen.
yeah.
Yes, it is April.
Okay, you scared me there for a second.
No, me too, I'm like.
Okay, this is a special public hearing with a specific purpose to, consider the amendments to the district water rates. And we'll get into that in a minute, but the first thing we're gonna do is call to order and have a roll call for the board.
Jim Carroll,
Here.
Roger Klein,
Here.
Wally Ernst,
Here.
Terry Leister,
Yeah.
and David Reynolds.
Here. Okay. All right. The adoption of the resolution of the water rates and charges will have CEQA determination. The adoption of the water rates is statutorily exempt from the California Environmental Quality Act, CEQA, Public Resources Code, and the state CEQA guidelines section. And I guess the main part of the meeting is going to allow residents to have 5 minutes to state their concerns and protest if they would like. And you can also, if you've protested before, you can also take back your protest. That's an option too. So I guess we should get started. Does anybody want to go first with their public comment?
I do.
Okay, now it's going to be 5 minutes.
I don't care, time me.
Okay, all right.
I'm timing you.
When was Carl Brown hired?
That's not on the agenda tonight.
It is. You're using his rate study. It is, absolutely.
Carl Braun wasn't hired. He's a contractor who specializes in
Rate studies.
in calculating
Rate studies.
the necessary rates for.
So when was he hired?
Probably 6 months ago,
Okay.
something like that.
Who hired him?
I think the board hired him.
Do you have the minutes and the months for that? And the vote?
We could find that out, I guess.
Okay, so you don't know if the board approved it?
No.
They must have approved it. It's here.
Well, not necessarily.
Okay, I'm fairly certain the board approved.
You're
that
fairly
they-
certain?
He gave us a proposal, we reviewed the proposal,
Say,
and,
so you put it out for bid first?
We did not, we actually talked to two, rate consultants. One was the rate consultant that did the rate study for the water district in town. And Carl was the other, proposer.
Okay.
And we
So
looked
you-
at both of their
You
proposals.
posted this though first, right? Before
I
you
don't
got
know
those
that we
bids?
advertised it, no.
No?
No.
You didn't advertise it?
Yeah.
So that would be against your policy and your what you're supposed to do.
Okay.
Is that true?
All right.
And so now you want us to pay him $10,000 when you didn't do it right to begin with.
Okay, well.
Let me ask you something else. Did he have complete and accurate data to make that rate study?
No, he didn't.
No, but you're gonna use that rate study anyway?
I think we don't have a choice.
You don't have a choice.
No.
You do, and I've told you that before, but what you need to do is do it right. And you are not doing it right.
Okay.
Tim, listen to me. You're not doing it right. He had no numbers from 50298. If you just add up the water users, that's over $70,000. If you add up all the taxpayers, it's over 100,000. You think that rate study would say those numbers if he knew? No way.
I'm not following what you're saying.
You didn't give him all the information.
About what? About the water use or about the?
No, based on what the revenue is for the CSD, what they need to pay, you did not give him the correct numbers. You failed to give him any numbers from 50298.
We gave him the accurate numbers.
I have proof.
Okay, good.
You did not.
Well,
If I just add up, just off the top of my head, just the ratepayers, just people on water, 239, that's over $70,000. Net revenue here. If I add up all of the taxpayers, it's over 100,000. His numbers, he's a numbers guy, he wouldn't give you those numbers because his numbers would be different. So he would say, no, don't raise them that high. You don't need it. I'm just done with all of you. Figure this out or step aside.
well, I'm looking forward to stepping aside.
Soon.
Please do.
Now, today, tonight.
Give it a good time. Before you raise
That
the
rate
Okay.
analysis is bad. You can't use it.
So, I guess what you're saying is we did not include the tax funds in the study.
Correct.
It was-
You
it
didn't
was-
tell him exactly how much money the CSD has. You failed to give him that number.
The
I have
CSD doesn't
proof.
have that money.
Oh my God. Tim, I've explained this to you 1,000 times. I am doing the tax roll. Everybody goes back on. Everybody pays. I don't care who they
Have they
are.
already paid? In other words, is there a deficit existing
Okay.
now? That's.
Your But because you guys screwed up and didn't do your jobs, doesn't constitute an emergency rate increase to the ratepayers. You did not do your duty to this community. You did a disservice, all of you. Honestly, you should all vacate.
Okay, well,
Walk away, let new people come in, fix this mess,
But-
and straighten it out.
but they won't have the money either. See, the money that you think exists does not exist. That's the problem.
It would exist if
It
you guys
would
had
have
been
existed,
doing your
but
jobs.
See, we have a problem today because we didn't get the money in for the tax rolls. I applaud your effort.
She
to
could
get-
have put people on. She chose not to. You know that. She refused.
But the
She
problem,
meaning the former general
these are-
manager, Colleen.
these things happened, and
You
know,
wouldn't fix it. I told you.
Let him speak.
5 minutes.
yeah,
Sorry.
I guess that's it. Yeah,
You
5
have
minutes,
my 5
please.
minutes.
Thank you.
Okay,
All right, who would like to chastise next? Anybody up for that?
I just had a question about
Okay,
okay.
the unit charge for 100 cubic feet.
yeah.
Is that the same unit charge that we're doing now? Could you tell me how many gallons are in 100 cubic feet?
I think it's 746, 746 or something.
Okay, so it's the same
Yeah.
as what I was thinking.
Yeah, yeah.
All right.
So there was a person in the back wanted to.
Yeah, I just wanna know, cause I haven't been attending the board meetings, but I realize you guys are doing an emergency rate
Yeah.
increase. Can you explain why?
Well, we have not been collecting enough revenue to pay the bills. And one of the problems is, like Christine was mentioning, is the amount that we are owed on the tax rolls. We have not been getting all that money in. But a bigger problem is most of our customers have been paying a rate that does not include a water volume charge. There's a connection charge that's like $30, and then you're supposed to pay, $2 for every 100 acre feet or 100 cubic feet. 100 cubic feet. And so a bill has a fixed charge plus a variable charge depending on how much you use. A lot of our meters have been either not working or not reporting because they were covered in sand. And this has happened for as many as 10 years in some cases. And so the district has not been collecting the revenues. Our goal as a district, or this is what I hear from the past, was to have a very low-cost overhead and basically be as cheap as possible in terms of running. And that did work, from time to time. The situation today is there's been a lot of months gone by where the money coming in has been far less than we needed to operate. And so now we're in
Plus, you gotta tell them about all the money we gave to groundwater that broke us.
How many,
yeah.
how many meters are being read?
Well, Russ, what's the status on the number of meters being read now?
Right now, we stand at about 50% are operational.
And what-
Okay.
How many is
So
that?
120 are being read?
They're all being read, but only about just over 50% is operational.
And that's,
Okay,
that's an
wait a minute.
improvement over what it was.
I don't
Yes.
understand that. How can you read them and they're not operational?
They just they're not working. The numbers aren't changing from month to month.
So because historically, water meters run slow. They always run slow. So, okay, you guys don't have the revenue coming in. How long ago were you guys solvent? Because I understand you're insolvent now.
Yeah, we're not solvent now. I think about a year ago we were probably breaking even, and that's just a guess. I don't really know.
Can I ask you what the board did or recommended to help that discrepancy, your insolvency,
Oh,
and
oh.
what the general
How
manager?
much money did
has
you give the
done.
groundwater authority? Did you pay?
I don't know.
We gave them a chunk though.
Yeah, can you say that again?
Yeah,
Oh.
what was the board's recommendation
okay.
to the general manager to help the insolvency? And what was the recommendations from the general manager to the board to correct it?
Okay. The biggest thing that we did was try to get funding from other organizations like the USDA to help us get out of the deficit and buy new water meters. For a long time, we thought that the meters were just broken. And at one point, we had a grant that came, a lot of money came to the valley, and something like $70,000 was set aside for us to replace our water meters. Somehow that fell apart about 2 years ago. So that's when the situation became more and more critical. More recently, we realized that it wasn't that all the meters were broken, it's just that sand had filled up many of the meter boxes. And so when the meter readers over the last few years were looking at the meters, they would just say, "Oh, I can't read it," and they would just put the same number down for the
They weren't cleaning the boxes out. They weren't doing their job.
So when fairly recently we realized it was a sand buildup in many of the boxes, we hired a plumbing contractor. In fact, it's Elvie's friend, Jeff, who's a master plumber. And he and his assistant cleaned out most of the boxes so that those meters can be read. And many of them are readable and functioning, even though some do run slow.
Okay, but if only half of them are being read, I don't understand it.
That's
The
right.
meters are good, I mean, they may be registering slow, but, okay, and then you said that you didn't have money in your, the bank accounts or the county accounts? Or because 50298 is for sewer, streetlights, and hydrants,
Right.
no water. So this meeting has nothing to do with that.
Right.
50297 has only to do with the assessment district, no water.
Right.
So it's, incompetency on the board's part for a year and a half of letting this district be insolvent. This district has been solvent for 38 and a half years. And in a year and a half, the board has allowed it to become insolvent. Why?
Well,
How
that-
many of you on the board have read this water report?
I don't know what you're referring
The
to.
one that you had, that Carl Brown did.
I've read it.
How many on the board has read it from page to page? Can you show me your hands?
Wonderful.
Wonderful.
Wow.
Okay, is this a study or an analysis?
It's an analysis.
Can you tell me the difference?
Well, a study might take a very tight time period. An analysis might take a longer view of a longer time period. What are the trends, in other words, rather than a
Okay.
specific?
Okay, so an analysis is 10 years, 5 to 10 years in the
Or
study.
something like that.
Okay, so you guys basically haven't done anything to resolve this insolvency.
Well, like I say, we tried to get new meters when we realized, here's the thing is, the tax rolls help us a lot, but they're nowhere near as important as the revenue coming from water.
How does
Water's
the
a bigger
tax
number.
rolls help you?
We do get some funds from the account. On our tax bills, you should
What
see,
account? What one? there's two line items, 50298 and 50297.
Yeah,
50298 is streetlights, hydrants, and sewer.
right.
50297 is the assessment district.
Right.
So
And-
the assessment district, how much is in your assessment account?
Yeah, I don't know, but we do,
Does the general manager know?
do you know offhand what's in those accounts? Now.
$26,000 in 50297 and $82 in 50298. Sorry.
How much is in your general fund, the B of A account?
I don't know.
Does the general manager know?
Yeah.
Yes,
How much is in your?
about $8,000.
So you guys are short about $10,000
Right.
to pay. Wait a minute, you can't use water rate money to pay your discrepancy on the assessment.
Yes.
You cannot commingle money. That is against the law.
Thank you.
Okay, well,
What do you mean, okay? Sir, you should know. You're on the board.
down,
You should know that.
vacate your seat.
well,
Let somebody
It's
competent.
not well.
So I have a question on the groundwater.
You are asking these people to pay higher
I'm gonna
rates
stop her.
because of the board's incompetencies. Let me ask you this. At your last meeting, your electric bills were unbelievable. Why don't you guys have photovoltaic cells on your building, at your sewer plant, out at the water plant, and on every light, street light out here?
yeah.
You know, your electric bill would be almost nil, but you guys haven't done anything.
Cosmetic.
No, I mean, and you can get photovoltaic cells free. The state will provide them for you.
Right, right.
So it's incompetencies on the board's part, why this district is insolvent.
Well, I have to say that, we could have definitely done a better job. What we tried to do is get help to
Nobody's gonna
install
help.
new water meters. Now, I don't know for sure if raising money by charging for water constitute commingling funds.
You
I don't
can't.
know that, but I guess that's a serious charge, and we'll have to look into that.
You
So-
cannot commingle. You know,
I agree.
When was the last time the board had an audit?
It's been a long time.
More than 2 decades.
Hey,
Well,
More than 2 decades.
we have had several meetings with the county. In fact, Colleen was over there 2 weeks ago.
Yes.
Okay, what we're trying to do is get an audit. If you don't,
Excuse me.
an audit might cost $10, $20, $50,000. We don't have $50,000.
Excuse me, have you read your ordinances and your resolutions?
They
Some.
can't produce them.
Some of
Do
them.
you know that when this community, they did the 1914 Bond Act and they sold bonds, that it is in the ordinances, it is a state and federal law that you guys must have an annual audit.
I'm
Along with
not
the
I've been
surprised.
website,
telling
too.
you,
You're
Tim.
supposed to have a
Surprised, but
website.
you guys are on the board.
The
You should
website.
know
Linda,
those
can you
things.
please yield
There's-
your 5 minutes to the woman in the back, please?
I will.
I did.
Okay,
Okay, so are you yielding
will.
5 minutes?
Yep.
Mhm.
I'm just saying, there's a whole bunch of inadequacies here that need to be corrected.
yes.
And if you guys don't know it, how much FEMA money did you guys get during the earthquakes? Because
We didn't get any.
Why?
You tell me.
They didn't.
Because
Did
they
you
didn't
apply
know to
for it?
apply.
for it.
Did you apply for it?
No, we didn't, and we had a
Why?
lot of leaks also, and we
Okay,
spent,
so why didn't you?
well, yeah.
Incompetent.
Not yes, why didn't you? I'm asking a question. You want these taxpayers now to pay for this because you didn't apply?
No, I want the
How
tax,
much COVID
I
PPP
would
money
like
did
the
you get?
people who need water.
$25,000.
That's
I-
PPE money.
Oh, yeah.
How much PPP money did you get?
There's a lot of administrative activities that we did not attend to because we are a very small organization. And the
Excuse
two
me,
employees
sir.
that we did have left.
Excuse me, sir.
Now there are no, excuse me, let me answer some of your
Okay,
questions.
answer 'em.
Our idea of having a low overhead doesn't give us the staff adequate to apply for grants. Although that would be a wonderful thing. It would be a wonderful thing to install solar. When I worked on base, we installed quite a few solar plants, And in fact, there are projections for more solar plants that I helped prepare when I was on base. I care about solar, I care about efficiency, I care about budgets balancing and avoiding commingling funds.
Oh my goodness.
Okay, I do care about these things. I'm not opposed to these things. What I think is important is if we don't have the money to pay to fix the pumps or buy the equipment needed to run the pumps, or we had to buy batteries last night for the generator so that when the power goes out tomorrow night, we can run the generator. Now, if we don't have money to buy those things, we're going to be out of water. And I'm getting tired of trying to explain this to people. If we don't have enough money to buy the equipment we need, we're not going to have water. Now you're right about all the things we've done wrong. I spent my life working very hard, doing a lot of things that have helped a lot of people. Now you shut up. You shut up.
You don't know how to
Now
do
listen.
your job.
Listen, you may not like the job I do, but I've done the job in a lot of places for a lot of people. I could spend time telling you. After I retired, I went back to Edwards Air Force Base because they wanted me to work on a microturbine microgrid, and I worked on it
So,
with Southern California Edison. And you know what? We didn't get it to work because there were problems with it. But someday that microgrid will work. That microturbine will work. And I'm sorry I'm getting a little angry. I've tried to explain to our people here that if we don't have the money to buy the parts we need to keep things fixed, we had a breakdown in the sewer plant. And if we didn't buy something that cost like $3,000, so I came into the office here and I set down my old Caltech Employees Federal Credit Union card and bought the damn thing. Because I care about getting water to this town. And if you don't think I do, you're wrong. Do you understand what I'm saying? And we're on tape here because it's a good thing I'm getting a chance to explain things to people that don't seem to want to listen.
you need to.
Now, do you understand that we need to have water in the desert?
You need to calm
Water
down.
in the desert.
Calm
You shut up,
down.
and you shut
You
up.
need to
down.
calm down, dude.
So you're
Wait, did I get out of control this
no,
time?
you're right. You're
Okay.
a stand-up guy.
Okay,
You're a
okay.
stand-up guy.
Now, I could explain too that the solar systems we put in on base. I was the energy manager on
Why
base.
don't you answer
what
the
I mean?
question?
When did the board last do a budget?
Okay, listen to this, you got a brand new well over there,
Okay.
it ain't no good.
Okay,
It's no good, the county paid for it and it does not work.
I understand that,
Good
but
Lord.
that
Yeah.
well field was abandoned
That-
30 years ago because the well that was there did not work. It fell, it
Well, they
collapsed.
drilled a brand new one there.
I know, well, I don't know who allowed that, but.
The
they did
county
not
did it
have-
for us. The
I
county spent the
understand
money.
that, But who picked the well field?
You know,
I don't know, Quebec County.
That-
It's your guys' well system. You guys
I didn't know
picked
we
the
had any
well
fields
field.
around here.
Pardon me?
I didn't know we had any well fields, this park and that one over here.
Well, and why did they
We're gonna go
re-drill
buy a
at the
field?
park?
We're gonna go buy a
Why
field
did
with
they
no water?
re-drill at the park?
Well, I wouldn't have a clue why they did it.
You're sitting on
But
the
you
board.
guys are on the board, you should know that, you
the-
should have
the-
known.
do you
if
want to
would've
listen? The
looked-
county did that for us.
I
We didn't
understand
control
the
that.
county-
The county of Kern
The county.
put that well in, and it never worked. The guy that
Okay.
did the contract,
I understand.
there's some funny business with that contract. I don't know what to do about it.
Did-
I don't have the time to look into everything that we do wrong.
No, that's why you have a general manager.
Well, guess what? Our
Okay.
general manager just quit. Colleen's been here for 2 months.
Okay. That
Don't
will.
want-
I'm sorry, you guys. You have aroused my inner beast.
The well
Okay,
fields
which
are-
I have
Tell
one.
them why
I
you
do
wanna
have
quit.
an inner beast. I just want everyone to know
If the
that.
board
And
would've-
whenever I get pushed too far, that inner beast comes out. And I'm happy to know this is on tape.
If-
Because you know what? If you guys give me a nervous breakdown,
Well, don't just step down and
No,
get out of
okay.
there.
Well, I have had that
Vacate
happen
your
before
seat.
because I do care about things. I do
Vacate
like
your
to.
seat.
I like to do the job that I'm supposed to do.
You're
If
doing
you
us a
would have looked
disservice.
Yeah.
at the paperwork that was in this district 30 years ago, you would have seen that well at the park was abandoned because It collapsed on itself.
That
Well,
don't matter, it's
Do you
old.
know the county
know,
did the
so the-
project? We didn't have
So
Brian,
anything
the
to
we
do
know
with
it.
it.
before his
Did the
time.
county come in and tell you guys, you have to drill a well here?
No, the county ran the job. The county hired the contractor.
I
The contractor was
understand
not
that.
competent.
Through the
Why
general
did the county do
manager.
that? I don't know.
Who picked
Through
the
the
well
general
field?
manager.
Nobody did, they did it.
The county
The
of Kern
picked
did
the
it.
well field?
Okay, where are you gonna find a field in your Kern?
Brian
I-
Beebe did.
You can have a hydraulic
Hydrologist.
study done.
Well, yeah, but you gotta have the property, I
Costs
just can't go
money.
drill on his property.
There was property.
Where, we don't own it?
No, you guys did own it south of town.
Well, we didn't sell it.
The Frog Farm, yes, you did.
I didn't sell it, it got sold way before my time.
You're talking about things that happened 20, 30 years ago.
Because
and don't
they
you tell me to shut up.
projected-
You got a
they
big mouth,
projected
and I've got
having to
5
drill.
minutes of my own
Okay.
time
They
to talk.
projected it. That's
Christine?
why
You
they
had your
bought the
5
land.
minutes.
5 minutes. 5 minutes for you, Vicky.
I'm done. I just want to say
To
that
argue with
you're
them.
blaming them for things that have happened 20, 30 years ago. They're trying to do what they can. They don't get paid. They do what they can on their volunteer. And don't you roll your eyes at me, Missy.
Don't tell me what to do.
Don't
You're not my
tell
mother.
me. Oh,
Quiet.
goodness.
All right,
Whatever.
all right, and I,
1 minute.
I apologize for getting out of control, okay? I do want to do a good job. And telling me over and over that I don't do a good job,
Tim, just follow the
yeah,
rules.
you know what? If we had enough time and you didn't run off Bonnie like you're,
I didn't
like
run
you
Bonnie
got,
off.
yes you did.
No.
Yes, you did.
Yes, you did.
Bonnie refused to collect the taxes.
Yeah, you wanted to tell Bonnie what to do and she wouldn't do what
That's
you
not true.
wanted.
No, she wouldn't do
Okay.
the taxes.
Trespassing.
I didn't tell
Okay.
her what to do.
Okay. Bonnie left. Well, anyway, we have 2 new staff members. We are very fortunate to have. Russ just passed his operator license, which is something we sorely needed. But we are operating on a very tight, non-existent budget, and we're trying to figure out the best way to do it. Now, if we were willing to accept higher rates, we will have water. If we're not willing to accept higher rates, then it doesn't matter if we're here or not. We're going to, our houses value will drop, and the people that would like to have Inyo Kern's water in this valley, like the Navy, they'll get it. And maybe all our houses will be sold at a
Your
discount.
meters are your cash registers.
That's what
Read
I've been
them.
saying.
Read them.
Yeah.
Is it your time or is it not your time?
I answered his
suggest you be
question.
quiet.
I
Excuse me.
answered his question.
Excuse
Period.
me, I'm so sorry. 5
Okay,
minutes
now
for
we
you,
gotta-
please.
Okay,
So
go ahead.
I-
I'm sorry.
That's,
I'm
I
very
just had
sorry.
a question about the groundwater authority
Okay.
because I live where we also have the same issues that you have.
Yeah.
And the groundwater authority has taken a lot of our budget, frankly
Yeah,
speaking.
right.
And I think that should be brought out because, obviously there's factors that we never had to address before.
Right.
And I think that everybody should certainly realize that. We appreciate your being here. It's not an easy job. And thank you for doing what you've done.
Thanks. Yeah, I mostly do a pretty good job. I've spent 40 years as a professional engineer in California. I have an enormous amount of experience in nuclear power and solar power, and there's a big well, anyway.
So, can you just tell me, so for the amount of money that we're paying now for our monthly bill,
Uh-huh.
how much would that actually change? I mean,
It's going to change quite drastically.
so what would that be?
I think it's more than double.
Okay.
It's more
So
than
if we
double,
paid-
maybe even triple.
And how much is the groundwater authority suing us for?
And the
They're
groundwater
suing for $200,000?
the groundwater authority has
Why
sued
is-
us
and why did-
for something like 200,000, and one of the problems is they're not telling us exactly how much it is.
Or why?
It's because they have because when we take water out of the ground, they want to charge us for it.
Right, I understand that
Yeah.
part.
And then they want to charge us for putting water back in. So it's a very interesting thing they're
We
doing.
paid them so much, that's what broke the CSD, if we decided to quit paying. How much did we give them?
Well, we paid them for about a year and a half and realized we couldn't keep paying those bills. And that's one of the reasons why,
We're in the red.
yeah,
Yeah, that was
Yeah.
really gonna be my question, if that made
Yeah.
a big difference
Yeah.
in the overall budget. regardless of anything else.
Yeah.
And we all realize this is a terribly old system, things break. Russ was at our place today doing a terrific job, and thank you, Russ. And, you know, it's obvious that, you know, the system is old. It's just
Yeah.
old and, you
Yeah.
know, needs to be
Yeah.
over time upgraded.
Yeah, and by the way, I'm really sorry for yelling. I'm actually really diplomatic 90% of the, well, 80% of the time.
Makes you feel better, huh?
Well, I think I
We
hurt my
could have a
arm.
primal
I hit
time.
the table so hard, I think I hurt my arm.
Okay.
So
So
you're
that's-
literally a stand-up guy.
Oh, accidentally I stood up.
We don't have
Yeah.
insurance, so.
Good one. So,
Okay.
okay, so I think 5 minutes are up. You've
I just-
already told me all the things I've done wrong.
No, I
I'm
just wanna
convinced of
add,
it.
it's about the study. If you guys haven't
Oh,
read
my
it,
goodness.
Yeah, okay,
Can we
now
go
I said
over it?
5 minutes, now you had 5 minutes from her, we're gonna say
Can we
no.
go over it?
No, no. 5 minutes is, that's all the time each person is allowed. And I'm sorry I'm doing this, but we've got to get to the vote about whether or not we're gonna accept new rates. And I would really like to convince everybody
But I just
that that's
have-
necessary.
I have one question on the rates.
Okay, should we give her one question, or should we call it on this?
This will be the last question.
Okay, this will be the last question. Okay.
This rate, or this study addresses, cubic foot rate,
Yeah.
but it doesn't address a flat rate, which the customers that are on a flat rate, because the meters don't work, it's not in here, so what do they get charged?
Okay, when you say flat rate, you mean the connection charge that everybody
No.
pays to have a connection to the system.
No,
And it does say in that report that all of the for every meter size, for instance, most people that have the 3/4 inch meter, or they're going to go from $27 up to $43.61. People that have 1 inch meter are going to go up to $50. If you have an inch and a half, their flat, quote, the connection fee is going to go up to $65. If you have a 2-inch meter, that what you're calling flat fee, which is the connection fee, is going to be $84.73. And by the way, we don't have very many 3-inch meters, but but I think maybe it's the airport or the senior center. That's going to go up to $134. And 4-inch meters, I think that's the airport. That's going to go up to $191. Most of these big meters, we don't have a lot of big meters, but there are connection monthly meter charges stated in the report and in our notes sent to everybody.
and so then they don't get charged for acre feet?
No, they do get charged for acre feet. Oh, yeah. But, okay. Because the situation is critical, it's really kind of like a gross assumption to get the money we need. And the, everybody's gonna be charged a new higher consumption rate. And it's a fixed, it's called, the unit charge per 100 cubic feet is $4.93. And that's double what you pay now, at least.
So that's gonna be addition to the.
In
monthly
addition to
service
the,
charge.
like, for the 4-inch, $191.
Okay,
Yeah.
so they're gonna be charged for using their water usage,
Right.
$4.93.
Per
100
108, yeah. Yeah.
Okay, but those.
That was
meters
one
don't-
question.
That's
they're
it.
not gonna
Okay,
be
that's-
charged.
Didn't answer it.
They're not
The
gonna be
question is,
charged.
the people that are, the meters that are
It's
not
not
working,
work-
got the flat rate right now.
Right.
What are they gonna be charged?
Oh, that's, okay,
That's
sorry,
what
that's
she's
right,
asking.
okay. You know, we don't know. I mean, we can't charge, if we don't have an accurate record of what they've used, that's been our problem. We can't charge them for what, we can't, I mean, I've heard of some companies estimating what people use,
Oh, yeah.
but, I don't know that we have ever done that. But that's, I don't know, maybe.
120 people can just let their hose run,
That's right, and that's been happening for a long time now.
and they won't be charged, but those that their meters do work, they
Right,
will be charged.
right.
Well, as soon as
Right.
we get some money, we'll buy some new meters.
Yeah, and by the way, Linda's been paying her bill for a long time, and I don't know a way to make it fair anymore, because she may still have to pay the new high consumption rate, even though she's been paying her bill all this time. So it's not fair, but I don't know what to do about it. If,
I do.
okay, all right, do you want to start your 5 minutes?
You already gave it
I
away.
just think that we need to rethink where we are. I know you're claiming we're broke, I understand that, but I think right now, people have a lot of questions. There's a lot of, tempers are getting a little hot and heavy. I'm not gonna name names, even though I took pictures.
Well,
You can see that in the Daily Independent, no problem. But I think we need to step back, take a look at where we are.
yeah.
We're not ready. The community is not ready for this.
I'm
Well,
not saying
just-
the water rate shouldn't be raised. I
Well, what
mean,
happens
they
when you lose the
probably need to
district?
be raised, but I don't know that it's being done fairly.
Well, it isn't fair because some people are still not gonna pay.
I know,
Because
and
if they,
so by law, you can't do that.
I don't,
By
this,
law, you cannot charge somebody, you can either charge them all a flat fee, a flat rate, or you can charge
Read
them
all
by
the
their
meters.
usage.
And what about the
And a
$9
use
ordinance?
fee.
Yeah.
But you cannot charge some one way and some another way.
well, I hope that's not true, but
It is.
we'll look
It
into
is.
that, I
Let me
guess.
say something.
Now the 5 minutes is up.
Okay.
We gotta get going.
Okay,
Now, okay,
So how long will we need to have the higher rate, I guess is
You know,
one question.
the-
Or do we know,
if,
or have
if we
idea?
can generate enough revenue to pay the bills, we can adjust the bills to be, more responsible, which is not as high, I hope.
But I
But
thought the
it's gonna be a
$9 fee
killer
was
for a while.
temporary.
in addition
It's-
to that, is that $9 service fee still gonna be
Yeah.
happening?
We've gone over that before,
Is
the
it
first
going to be
time,
on the bill too?
the first time the groundwater authority, gave us a very large bill that we couldn't pay, we added $9 to generate the money to pay them. Okay, and since then, the amount that we owed them has gone from, in the 20,000, 30,000 range to the 100,000, several 100,000 range.
I understand.
So, anyway, that's another, there's a lot of things that have happened that have adversely affected our district.
So is that $9 gonna be in addition to the?
Yes,
water
it'll
bill?
still be there because it's something that we decided to do based on the circumstances at the time. It's not a good thing, but it's a good thing we have those dollars because we've spent those dollars
25,000
to
of
buy
them.
We're not
a,
supposed to talk.
to buy a battery. We had to buy a battery today, had several batteries or the generator out at the water plant will not run tomorrow night when the power goes off. Okay. Well, Russ, did you have to stay out there last night or something? Okay, okay.
Yeah.
Anyway,
It might not run tomorrow
So-
night either.
so we're not functioning well. That's the problem. And and one of the things is if we had the right equipment, we'd be functioning better. Anyway, I'm sorry I'm getting tired of
So-
saying the same
So
thing.
does the whole system basically need an upgrade?
Well, how much you paying Indian Wells Valley every month up to dig these lines up? That's
Right.
a ton of money, ain't it? I
Yep.
mean, back when she was running, everything was brand new, for Christ's sakes, right? It ain't
Right.
brand new no more.
Excuse me, it was not brand new.
And
Well, it was
is your
brand
time
new.
on the- or time still, is she still on her fucking?
It
list?
turned into be brand new.
Okay, so you know a lot about the system.
Everything.
I sure
Okay,
should.
well, why don't you come and be on the board or help us?
I can't be on the board,
Oh.
or I would.
Can you
Why
help
is-
me?
I can help you.
Okay.
All right, well,
I would like to look at the books.
you're welcome to.
It's about time.
Yeah.
When I ran this district, we had an old system. We applied for a grant, we got a new system.
Yeah.
There was an assessment district, there was a depreciation fund set up. You guys should have over $225,000 in that assessment.
But you keep
account
calling us
to
guys,
pay
I wasn't on the board 20 years ago, I don't know.
It doesn't matter
Well,
when you were on the
and
board.
when they
If you
replace
read
somebody,
your
they don't know what's going
ordinances
on.
And you knew what you
If
were
you would
doing,
read,
you
you
would be
would.
in
Yeah.
default.
Why would I know what's going on?
Read.
You would be in default
Why
if
do
you
you
read
call it
your
then?
Well, that's
ordinances and went by
counterproductive.
them.
You think we've been here for 25 years, 30?
Yeah.
Yes.
I certainly wish I knew more.
So constructive criticism would be good if it was constructive, not just criticism.
All right, let's
Read.
get this
Okay.
thing going.
Read.
All right,
It's
okay.
almost 6 o'clock, we gotta go.
Yeah, who wants to make another public statement? Or can we close the public statements? All right, I propose, I think we should go ahead and close the public
Hit the hammer.
statements. Okay, all right, the public comment period is over. So, okay. Okay, so I guess we're gonna have a proposal to, adopt the new rates. Is that what we're gonna do? Okay. Okay, first of all, we wanna count the protest letters.
I have 9 letters here, but 1 letter is in question. So
Okay.
there are 8 for sure.
Okay, and do you wanna say, you can make a public protest if you'd like, or a former person who used to run this place.
I'm only protesting it because it's illegal, but if you guys wanna pass it, and let the chips fall where they may.
Okay.
How many letters actually went out though?
Everybody got a
Everybody-
letter.
416,
Also, the need for water.
416 property owners? Cause I know 3 property owners who didn't get the letter this time.
Okay. Well,
So how many went
We
out?
didn't get a letter either.
I didn't
What,
get it.
what adjudicated media did you advertise this public hearing on?
I don't know.
Well, you have
We-
to do that by law.
Well,
Oh, so wait, this whole thing's illegal?
Yeah, anyhow, we're done with that part of it.
well,
No, you're not if you get a lawsuit.
We don't care.
I'm obvious.
She'll have a lawyer by then, we
So-
don't have to worry about it.
okay, so I guess we've closed the public comment. And it doesn't look like we've had enough protest letters to stop the vote on, approving the new rates. And I do agree that the new rates are a draconian move, to avoid not having a water system operational. And
Can I just have one question? You can sit up there, you can vote, you can process this, but if the people of the community decide they're not paying the extra money, what good is all of this? You're not listening to the community.
What else would you have us do? What's your suggestion?
Step back, take a look
I
at
think we
where
already
you're
did
at,
that, didn't we?
where you've been. I hear you guys talk in different time frames.
There's really no talent in this community that is willing to step up and take their place.
I'm a
There are
college
3
grad, I'm
there,
a
I know
retired
3
Navy, I'll
people who
step
will.
up.
She'll step up.
What more do you want?
If you want to be on the board and try to
No,
talk.
I don't want to be on the,
Okay.
I want the
Well, there
board
you
to
go.
operate, function for the community.
And that's what I'm trying to do.
So
if you
there's
don't-
due process, right? There's legal, but there's also, you can only survive 3 days without water until you get bottled water and have a crisis.
I agree, I know that. But I've got documentation where I went back, I saw where you all got the new pump put in by the county and all that good stuff. It was supposed to be, that was 6 years ago. You're telling me that the new pump now is not
It
operating?
never worked. It never worked. I don't know what was wrong. I do know that I did go by the the site where it was being drilled, I saw no, soil samples taken, which indicates to me the contractor was not really following the normal procedures. So I don't know what happened. I don't know how to, we don't have a lawyer to sue the county to get the money to fix that or do whatever it is. There's a lot of administrative things that we don't have the resources to do.
I understand.
Okay.
So it
I
would be
really-
good if people, instead of complaining, would stand up and do some of it, you know, that would be great. If you have experience, why wouldn't you volunteer to do that job? Why wouldn't you volunteer to help?
The seats are all taken. Somebody's gotta get up
I'm-
and
You
move.
said you
sure that
didn't
we
wanna
could-
be on the board,
we could
but you
add-
could volunteer.
Yeah, exactly.
Tim brought on LV. LV is a new addition.
We're getting out
It
of
should
hand.
satisfy some of our
Okay, okay,
interests.
but we gotta stop the public comment. I'm glad to discuss the problems. I mean,
Got 10
you know,
minutes.
but, yeah, and,
Well, if we could move forward where it would be helpful to you instead of complaining, it would be good, because
Yeah.
then we could move forward instead of
yeah,
everybody complaining, which doesn't do
Right.
any good at all.
Does your meter work?
My meter works fine.
okay,
And
so,
I'm paying my bills every month, and I have 4 that I
So
pay,
am I.
so,
All right.
please.
so are you doing a protest or not?
Yeah, and I'm a college grad, so, and I volunteered to help her.
Okay, all right,
And
that's good.
I worked for 23 years for Southern California Edison on photovoltaic cells, from
Okay.
Edwards to 105, to the I-5, to Avenue A to D. I worked as an engineer for Edison, so I know a little bit about
I've been a consultant to
photovoltaic
Edison
cells.
off and on for 40 years,
Thank
I'm
you for
sorry, excuse me.
volunteering.
so.
Exactly, and where are we going to pay for it?
Okay, so, I guess we're gonna, make everyone angry by, voting, to raise our rates. Do I have a motion?
I'll make a motion.
Okay, do we have a second? Okay, let's do a roll call.
Tim Carroll,
Aye,
Wally Ernst,
Aye.
Mr. Klein, Terry Leister, and David Reynolds.
No.
4-1. Okay, so the rate increase does pass, and it will go into effect, I guess, at, the next billing period. And,
And this billing
Well,
period
which is,
just coming up.
yeah,
So when is it coming up?
You know-
It'll be June probably.
yeah,
in June, is that the date?
I'll have to go through the paperwork. I don't really know exactly when it's gonna start,
We have,
but it's gonna
we're
start
just
now.
ending one right now,
Right.
so.
Cause this is already.
It may be the first of the next cycle
Yeah.
or something. I
That
don't
would be
know.
better.
June first.
So, it's something else I don't know. And by the way, I know a few things, but I certainly don't know all the things I need to know.
That's okay. Let's close this meeting.
Okay, so I guess that's the end of the meeting, and I guess we can stop, I can stop
Hello,
yelling.
John.
I'm sorry, everybody.
At the water meeting.
I'm sorry.
Hildy,
Yeah, we
this is
can
Jenny's
go now.
phone.
Hey, there's a